Hello everyone, Voodoo here. I'm here today with the next boss guide, obviously for Silken Court. So this boss has been dead for 2 weeks now? I don't know. A bit now. So we're gonna do the video and show you guys. Now Havoc is the worst spec in the game with this boss. It is very true. But I'll give you some tips anyways about how to get the most out of it, how to prog it, stuff like that. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Queen Answer should be dead pretty soon. American Thanksgiving. I'm Canadian, but most of my guild's American. Might throw a wrench. I don't think we're raiding as much this week. My goal is to have it next Monday. Might not be next Monday, might be after that, but we'll see. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let's get on to it. All right, so obviously first things first is gonna be the build you're playing. This is it. You're playing single target. There's not really a point in playing any of the AoE builds, not in Mythic. If you're like in Heroic or something, you could maybe get away with a cleave thing with Rage Fire for the bugs, but in Mythic, it's just not worth it. You need to do the single target damage to the bosses, especially on the damage amp phases and stuff like that to push the boss. Ideally, you want to kill before the double damage amp into the fight, which gets kind of hairy after that. So this is the build I recommend. Single target, nothing crazy about it. Felskard's significantly better in this boss. Aldrachi, you're going to lose a ton of uptime, so it's just not really worth it. If they were fixed Aldrachi, this would be like a great fight for it. Because there's 2 targets, so Glaives is going to do a lot of damage, but it's just not worth it. If you're on red side, you have to leave the boss so often that you can't really maintain uptime. Blue side, I don't know. I didn't play blue side, but I think they have more uptime, but still, it's just like not going to be worth it. Felskard being bugged does suck. This not working how we thought it would, and also just being bugged sucks. This being changed to us damage sucks. So your damage in this fight is not great, and the damage amps sort of line up well for you, more or less. But realistically, like, this is what you're playing. If you need better darkness, just drop a point in Flames of Fury for 3-minute darkness. Otherwise, like, this is pretty standard bread and butter stuff. You might consider playing Sigil of Misery, dropping 2 of these points here, picking up Sigil of Misery like that. That can help with bugs, but generally speaking, like, it's not that big of a deal. The same with Wave of Debilitation. This can also help with bugs as well, but there's just a choice there. So realistically, nothing too crazy for build. Let's go to the video. All right, everybody. So here we are with the video. And again, this whole clip is up on my Twitch. This one's actually my footage. I actually have footage for this one. Up on my Twitch. I don't remember how, I think this boss took like 130 some pulls or something like that. This boss is definitely harder than Queen now, in my opinion anyways. Just because of all like the coordination and stuff you need to do in it. But pretty solid fight. It's interesting how they changed it from Mythic to Heroic with the orbs, but you know, is what it is. So on pull here, you notice I am walking up here. So I'm on red side. So this is going to be red side POV basically exclusively. Havoc's AoE outside of our cooldowns isn't great. Like, we have a ton of free cleave with Blade Dance, and that's about it, because that's all we use outside of CDs. So I don't really know if we're great on blue side, but to do more damage, you will have to end up on blue side, because that is where the bugs are. But what you want to do is you want to start right about here. If you stand in this red circle and I-beam this way, so towards the other boss, you actually hit both bosses with I-beam, which is really good. There's also a point between these two where if you Sigil of Flame, you can hit both of them. I think it's happened once or twice for me. I have not been able to find it very consistently. I think it's somewhere in this area, but I can't give you the exact place because, you know, I just haven't hit it consistently. But very important on pull that you want to tag the boss you're not on. So I'm on a noob here because it's red side. You want to make sure you either throw glaive or I Sigil Flame it. Just some form of damage to this left boss here so you can apply brand. But yeah, so we'll get going. I'm saying it's somewhere in this area. I just do it there just to be safe. I do that. I Fell Blade just for a little Fury. Turn around and I beam both bosses and does hit both of them. So you do your opener here, but you don't use meta. So meta we're going to save for the very first damage amp. Which is basically, you know, after the web charges. I don't have a web. I'm assigned to be the melee that's like closest left here to the blue. So me and the tank are very close to each other. I take this rain and then I just get out of here. You want to move pretty quickly. Also, there's some weird lag on this fight at the start. I don't know why. Havoc's pretty good for soaking. I always go soak kind of the far ones. You can generally soak 2. Is safe. 3 you can get away with. Once you get to more than that, 4 you're dead. So don't do that. The boss runs off. We're not really where the scarabs are, so we can't do a ton of damage to them. Boss runs off. At about 3 seconds, I pop my trinket just so I can like collect it and stuff like that. I try and Sigil of Flame about 1 second before and I-beam before the boss comes in, because our burst is actually longer than the damage amp is. And you also notice I'm doing a bit of a different burst rotation here, more akin to how we used to do it. So what I'm doing, right, I'm I-beaming as the boss comes in. So that way I can just get started right away. I beam into Fell Rush, Chaos Strike, Essence Break, Death Sweep, VR and meta into another death sweep, because the amp just runs out if you do the normal one where you essence break at the end. I did manage to fit everything in there, which is great. Fel Rush and Rotate Around. Again, I always get these two. And then we're going on to boss moving. So if this boss is on your side, you can just go right away. As soon as you collect your orbs, just Fel Rush over there and just death sweep. Target swapping here is not an issue. They share health and the dots will continue to tick down. So it's not like you have to focus one boss the whole time. I'm also pretty sure the other boss doesn't parry. I could be wrong in that. The other boss is honestly a little better to do. But you can go right over there. As soon as this frontal happens, you should be on the other boss already, so that they can move. But is what it is. The other melee kind of lag behind a bit. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Here I am saving Trinket. So Mad Queen's Bandit's honestly kind of huge on this fight. It does a ton of damage to the bosses on damage amps. This is a great time for a personal, by the way. Just make sure you never get double hit by those. That's how you kill people. Mad Queens is great. So we're gonna do another webs here into the final amp of P1. So rotate around, soak orbs. Again, I always go with the far orbs. That's just kind of how my job ended up being. There's a really deep one in there. I'll let someone else get that one. And trying to do damage on this ad before it goes away. Charge is happening. So this one, you don't have to pre-cook your rotation as much. I do my Essence Break rotation, saving VR. So do my whole thing with Essence Break. Then I'll VR into Hunt, and then I'll use Mad Cranes with the crit buff. If you crit with it while you have the crit buff up, you're doing 23 million damage to the boss on a damage amp, which is huge damage there. So generally, again, as long as you're using it with initiative, you're doing fine. Going to the intermission here, make sure you spread. Not spreading can cause a ton of wipes to your guild, just like loosely spread in general quadrant there. First rotation, you want to wait for that slice on square to move, go in, and then as soon as this one on the left explodes here, we want to run out and drop it. We end up holding DPS all the time here, so I just run out to make it easy for DPS and stuff like that to grab the other orbs, just because I don't want to ruin anything. Again, we do have to hold DPS here, so I'm just spreading out nice and easy. Once this shield drops, you basically want to immediately I-beam. So I go right into I-beam. If you do this as soon as you phase here, you will have it back up for the damage amp. And it's very important just to get more damage out. You can hold this. It is a waste to hold, but setting it right away, you'll have it back up for damage amp. And this damage amp is going to be where we lust. Now I potioned the first damage amp where I meta, just so I can get 2 potions on this fight. Which I think is better. Generally speaking, I think it's better. Here we go into the mechanic in phase 2 with the grips. If you're first, you're on left, right. If you're second, you go through the boss. Nothing too crazy there. Now we have dispels. Now I don't have a dispel here, which is pretty nice, which means I can just kind of collect orbs and chill and prime my DPS and stuff like that. Make sure you're hitting a new barrage here. If you're hitting the wrong boss, you're going to be doing a ton less damage to it. But I-beam, Fel Rush, Death Sweep, Annihilation, Backflip meta, just blasting into this boss here. I wouldn't wait for the whole damage amp to go on. Generally, as long as you're having your essence break into the full damage amp, you're fine. But each stack that the boss gets is still 20%. So, you prime your rotation until that damage amp. You're going to have it be, pretty good there. We're going to save Mad Queens to the next damage amp, just because, that's showing how I do it. You do meta and Trinket, Transmitter on one of them. Mad Queen's the other. Run over the wall here. This is kind of a sketchy part in this phase. You want to make sure you move immediately, run through the boss, and just grab stuff here. We're breaking all of our webs on P2, and now I'm Dispel 3. So Dispel 3 here is actually pretty unique. So 1 and 2 are going to be on the wall. I'm in danger here as well. I just grabbed 3 of those. 1 and 2 on the wall, and then 3 immediately goes to the center. So as soon as 2 gets dispelled, I go right to the center. To be dispelled in the middle there, and then here I will prime my rotation as well. This one I probably could have saved a little bit longer. Just thinking back on it, I did miss the largest damage amp, and you generally have time here. Again, though, you want to use your Mad Queen's Mandate on this one. But yeah, I think I could have saved Essence Break a little longer. I definitely missed most of the big damage amp, which is unfortunate. But I was just sending it just to kind of do it. So save a little bit longer than I did there. And then we go into second intermission. So this intermission is very sketchy. It's not like 100% the same every time. Biggest thing here is just play safe. This shield amp is very easy to hit. Just play safe. Do not get hit by the spikes. You have a ton of time to grab all the orbs, and just play safe, spread out, do not get hit by the spikes. Hit by the spikes, you're probably going to die, and just go slow. Like, there's no reason to rush. Just rotate around slowly, dodge all the spikes on the ground, don't get hit, and you're doing fine. After this, we enter into P3. Now, P3 red side is kind of effed over a bit. Also, Essence Break wrong. You shouldn't do that. I goofed a bit there, but you do want to send a meta here. You have both bosses here. You're not going to send meta until you hit the final damage amp of the fight anyways. So sending meta here is great. Obviously, save Essence Break for this point because it's a bit better. Red side's going to bait that and then go stand on the wall. And during that time, you have a ton of time to DPS. So I think it's a great time to send a meta. Because the next damage amp we get, red side cannot do damage to it at all. So web side is going to keep our webs here, run through boss, collect a ton of them. I collect 3 and then I think I nether walk this. So I have 3. Yeah, I nether walk this. This is a very dangerous fight if you're red part. So nether walk, potion, tons of stuff here is really useful. We break this, have like 2 globals to DPS, and then I immediately have to go over to the other boss. So go over there. I just essence break on this just to use it. Again, it sucks we can't hit the damage amp, but that's what happens on red side. We just have to be in position, and there's nothing we can do about it. So damage amp goes out. We get pulled through and break. This one, we can break our webs because this is a dispel, and then dispels are going to happen. Again, you know, can't really do too much in terms of actually using our DPS cooldowns on these amps, which, you know, just is what it is. But you will have Essence Break during this damage amp, and this is also a great time to use Mad Queen's Mandate because you have a big damage amp, boss is very low. I think I potion this. I do not potion this. I definitely should potion this, I think. This is our last full damage amp before the fight ends, and I also Mad Queens it. You do get another one with meta in about 20 seconds, but at that point the boss is basically dead. Oh, I did potion this. I just potioned late. So potion earlier than I did happens sometimes. And from this point, the fight just repeats. Now this is still kind of a scary part with the blue team not really going the right way. Kind of got a little sketchy there. And then you just rotate around. Red goes back onto the wall here. We've already baited the beam. Web Vortex comes out. And then we're going to keep these, and then dispels are going to happen. So this is a really sketchy part. Ideally, you can kill the boss before this, or kill basically as soon as it happens. But we have all these charges, and then we have dispels. This is when everyone kind of starts to die. This is why I recommend lusting before this point. What we should have done here is dispelled 1 or 2 of them. My raid leader makes the call to just burn. So burn, pop immunities. So this explosion will go off. I don't have any immunities, so I'm dead. Our tank, our hunter, death knights, and a mage all win. All live, and then they kill the boss. So this is enrage. At this point, boss is just going to kill you, and we killed it. And there's loot. Pretty bad loot, honestly. So pain points on this fight. P3, end of P3. Once you get there the first time, it should be pretty easy to do. A lot of pain points is just doing the rotations properly in the first phase, so that you guys aren't killing each other. So getting used to that. And then P2, the second grip, gets super sketchy. I think is it this one or is it the next one? I think it's the next one. Yeah, it's this one. The one you're already on wall. This one gets super sketchy because you're like in the middle doing this whole thing. You bait the frontal, and then basically right away you have to go out and do sorry, excuse me, go out and do the grip. So that gets kind of sketchy. Havoc P3 red side, you kind of just use Essence Break on cooldown. There's not a ton of time you have to do all the different damage amps and stuff, because if you're on red side, you got to get out. But do that there. Make sure you use a potion earlier than I did, and basically alternate this trinket and Mad Queens. So generally with meta, you'll be using Transmitter, and then on ones where you don't have meta, you'll be using Mad Queens. So you'll get 1 use of each per phase, which is pretty good. I do like the Mad Queen mandate. Sorry, on prog can be a little weird. So I definitely can see you running a trinket like a passive, like Void Reaper's Contract or like Egg Sack or something like that. Definitely can get weird. Well, I think in general it's pretty good to alternate those and just pair this up. So yeah, basically just save Essence Break for the damage amps. There are certain phases where you want to use it. So like right when you phase into P2, you'll have an eye beam right away. You can use that and have it back up for the damage amp. Like right here, I'm using it right away. You'll have it back up for damage amp. Everything after that, save for damage amps. And then in P3, when you come out, you'll have a meta. So you'll want a meta right away. Again, I only essence break like one target here. You definitely want to hold and wait for both these bosses to be together to meta, but I was just kind of tired. It was 9:30. I guess not that late, but we'd been pulling the boss for a bit, so I just wanted to kill it. But yeah, you can get a full meta out while you're on the wall here. And it's very safe, especially since you cannot actually make use of the next damage amp on red side. Blue side, I'd probably still do this because blue side still doesn't have a ton of time for this damage amp. But you do have more GCDs at least on it. And then towards the end, I would potion this entropy. I think this is the one. Yeah, the potion is entropy. I'd potion after essence break is over, which is stupid because the very final phase, the boss should basically be almost dead. And it's very sketchy. There's no guarantee you're actually going to have everybody alive for this one. But, you know, you get to this point, boss is basically like dying no matter what you do. And there you go. That's the fight. Interesting fight. Pretty tough. Next will be Ansarek, and then we'll be done all the fights, obviously, for this tier. And we'll see what next tier brings us. So hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions, drop them down below. And I will see you guys next time. Peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you to Zooligan, rpalms46, Fear Redefined, Justin Penny, Callum Price, Gabrielle Correa, Magicman 133, Falafador and Dark Terror, Sky Elk, and Brad Wisniak. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. If you want to support the channel a little bit, consider becoming a channel member down below. And just thanks for watching the videos, everybody. Even if you don't become a channel member, you're still supporting me. So thanks, everybody. See you guys next time. Peace.